to Therapy Explained, where we explain, demystify, and destigmatize mental health and mental health treatment. My name is Deniss. I'm a licensed therapist, mental health speaker, and your host here at Therapy Explained. Today we're going to be talking about how to date with an anxious attachment. Now I have other videos on attachment styles, so if you want to check those out, go ahead and do so either before or after this video. But before we jump into today's conversation, as always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it entertaining, useful, or if you feel that you've learned something at any point in the video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on mental health just like this one. Now, we know that dating itself can be pretty anxiety inducing. You end up feeling pretty vulnerable and have to show parts of yourself to somebody, hoping that they will accept them, and not only accept them, but like them and choose to be with you. Now, this requires a lot of work. Relationships, yes, require intentionality, but they shouldn't be hard. In order for us to show up for these relationships and make it easier for ourselves and for our potential partner, it's important for us to also know who we are in these relationships, what our attachment style is, and what it is that we need in order to feel safe in a relationship. As I mentioned, I've talked about attachment styles before. So today we're only going to be focusing on anxious attachment style. It's very likely that you experience a lot of negative thoughts. So thinking that this person doesn't like you, doesn't want to be with you, that they might think you're dumb. You might experience a lot of anxiety if you go an extended period of time without hearing from them. You might also experience pretty low self-esteem and feeling like maybe they don't think as highly of you, and all those thoughts about yourself and all those things about yourself that you don't like, that they see them. So a lot of anxiety. As we've talked in the past, your attachment style is going to be defined and shaped by the relationship that you had with one or both of your parents. So they are the ones that taught you about what love is, what it means to be in relationship with someone, though of course in a different context. It is still teaching you about how to accept love, how to show love, and whether or not you can trust other people. And particularly if you have an anxious attachment style, this means that you probably didn't feel loved good enough from one or both of your parents. It is possible for you to develop a safe and loving relationship with someone else. In order to do that, here are a few different things I want you to pay attention to, look at, and do. Number one, redefine your attachment style. By this, I don't mean don't say that you're an anxious attachment style. I just mean the way that you view it needs to change. If you're thinking, I'm needy and have an anxious attachment style and it's just hard for me to connect with people and I just don't trust other people, or I don't trust that they're going to love me, all of this stuff, right? Or that you're broken, if those are the messages that you're sending yourself, that's how you're going to show up in these relationships. So it's very crucial that you're kind and compassionate towards yourself. As I mentioned, the reason that you have an anxious attachment style is because of your relationship with your parents, and not necessarily because they were evil people, but because whatever traumas and wounds they're carrying it made it difficult to show you the kind of love that you needed in order to feel safe. But now you have the opportunity to be that person that you needed, that parent that you needed growing up. So being kind to yourself and being compassionate, being patient with what it is that you need, right? Being an anxious attachment style means that you just probably will need more affection, more reassurance, and there's nothing wrong with that. You'll have to find a balance between learning how to give that to yourself, how to soothe yourself, how to ground yourself, and also asking for reassurance from your partner or potential partner. If somebody thinks that that's just too much work and you need too much, then that person is not for you. Number two, communicate your needs. As I said, it's important for us to find that balance between learning how and when to soothe ourselves. So if your partner, for example, is currently working and you feel a certain amount of anxiety, you're wondering if they still like you, if they're thinking of you, if you want to have that reassurance, but it's literally impossible for them to give that to you, then that's one of the situations that will require you to soothe yourself, to ground yourself, to remind yourself that this person loves and cares for you, that they are currently working and that's why they are unavailable to you, right? And giving the benefit of the doubt. That's one of those moments where it requires you to take care of yourself. However, that doesn't mean that you can't tell your partner, hey, I need to hear from you at least once a day or at least twice a day. I want to make sure that you're thinking of me, whatever positive thought you might be having about me. If you like my earrings, if you like my dress, if you like my shirt, if you like something I just said, please tell me in the moment what it is that you're thinking, because it makes me feel good, right? I think this is also a really good way to ask for that reassurance in a form that feels authentic, because a lot of what I hear from people is, I don't want to tell my partner to tell me that they love me, right? But it is a different request to say, can you tell me when you think these things? Can you say them out loud? That's really helpful, right? Or if you're feeling like they said something and maybe it feels like a criticism, or like they're telling you that you think you're ugly or you're dumb or whatever, tell them in that moment, right? Like, hey, I'm having this thought right now, or I'm feeling really anxious. Can you just reassure me that that's not what you're thinking, or that that's not what you meant? Again, giving your partner the benefit of the doubt and communicating with them what it is that you need. Number 3 is to learn how to soothe yourself. As I mentioned, it's crucial to find balance. When do you ask your partner for help, and when is it your responsibility to soothe yourself? And figuring out when to do that will be very important. So in moments when it is crucial that you ground yourself, right? Like in the examples that I gave, reminding yourself that your partner is unavailable to you because they literally cannot get to you. They're really busy. They're not capable of doing that. Or soothing yourself and saying, okay, my partner probably did not mean to hurt me, did not mean to call me this thing. That wasn't what I'm hearing, is probably not what they meant to say. That requires soothing, right? To take a deep breath, to pause, and figure out what it is that you're feeling so that you can communicate that to your partner. So learning how to ground yourself, learning how to soothe yourself in those moments so that you can communicate effectively with your partner. This creates a really great culture between the two of you of talking, right? And saying like, hey, whenever one of us feels uncomfortable, we talk about it. We talk to each other and we trust one another to always mean well, right? And when we don't mean well, we tell each other, not to fight, but so that, hey, because you didn't mean to hurt me, of course, now you want to know that I am hurt, and hopefully understand that, hear that, and help me, support me, make me feel safe. Number 4, seek support. This whole it's crucial to find the balance thing is, I've repeated it, but it's hard to find the balance, especially at the beginning and especially in the moment. It's easy to talk about it now, maybe because you've just started dating or because it's just you and me and you're not currently in that situation right now. That can be a little bit easier to talk about, but when you're in the moment, it's even harder. And part of this journey, right, is trying things and figuring out what worked and what didn't, because it's not always going to be this clean or this easy. Your partner might also have their triggers, and if you're trying to address something, they might misunderstand that and it might lead to something bigger. So all of this, like trying and learning and reflecting and figuring out the balance, that process will be easier for you if you have support, right? And yes, of course, I'm talking about therapy. Of course, I love therapy and I think it's extremely helpful, right? I do it for a living and it's really rewarding, and I've seen the benefits of this, of kind of talking through things. Okay, hey, what happened? What did you try? What were you thinking? What were you feeling? How did they respond? What could be, going on, to help you find that balance and find the way that you communicate, right, with your partner to make that work, or with any potential partner to try to make partnerships work. And lastly, take it slow. This is a lot of work. As I mentioned, it is some, trial and error and figuring out. It takes learning about yourself, learning about your partner. And with every different partner that you have, it will be different because you're bringing different things to the table. And so are they. So be patient with yourself, take it slow, know that you're probably going to make mistakes, and that's okay. That's part of the learning process. I hope that this conversation was a good start for you to help you understand yourself a little bit more, be more compassionate with yourself, and that some of the tools that I've shared with you today proved to be helpful along the way. If they did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more mental health videos just like this one. Before I let you go, let's take a deep breath in together through our nose. And a deep breath out. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next one.